If you had to do all of this over to end up where we are right now, would you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Babe, I don't know.
Here's the key word to end up where we are now.
Right.
What you said. If anything was different, probably not. But here's the thing. Here's where I can say where some regrets lie. Is I regret not letting you go in the beginning. Not because I didn't want to be with you, but because there was things that you can't get back because I didn't let you go. So if I had to do it over again and there was just anything that was different, no, I wouldn't want you to do that. And even if it was gonna be the same, I probably still would see how that turned out differently.
It's interesting to say that because like part of me says yes, part of me says no. Your reason, like some of the stuff that I missed out on, like there were things that I missed out on, but I also think that this was kind of a protection for me because I think that I definitely would have gotten involved with either things or people that would have completely changed my trajectory and not in a good way. Because you know how you have that church girl that finally gets a little taste of the world and she loses her mind? I was gonna be that girl, especially after my mom died. It was like, I can do what I want and I'm gonna. But you were very much what kind of kept me like, okay, you go there, but you don't be going too far. You kind of kept a little bit of a rein on me. So I do think that was a protection. But I feel like if you had to let me go early, I do think we would have found our way back. And I do think I would have been a support for you while you were down. We just, maybe not like together, but we would have been in and out of each other's lives. But then I don't know that we would have, I think too much damage might have been done where you always saw me as this perfect little angel. And then when I wasn't that anymore, I don't know that we'd have made it back.
Yeah, it's highly possible we wouldn't have. I would like to think that our love would have found us a road back to each other and all that, but truth of the matter is that I had some very distinctive views back then, and so did you, and so it's possible that I wouldn't have wanted to be with you anymore if I found out or thought that you did certain things and you had a whole different view of life at that time. You know? Well,
first of all, if we weren't together, I'd have went down south to school. And I'd probably still be down there. Black people. I'd have been down there doing all kinds of Delta ski weeks and all the things. And I probably would never came back.
Yeah, you'd have married some dude with a fat neck. Yeah.
Not a fat neck, but a fat wallet.
No, a fat neck.
He might have had a fat neck, but he had a fat wallet too.
Eating pork chop sandwiches all the damn time.
And who knows? I'd have had a gaggle of kids and who knows what would have been like.
It's possible.
I just don't think I can say I want to sign on for that 20 again. No, that was a tough 20. I don't want to seem like, I feel like we came out of it and still look normal, but I don't want people to think that just is.
No, it's not.
That's not a given, and it's not easy to do.
It hurt.
It's very painful.
It hurt on both sides, and I can't for a second act like I know what your side is like. I just know it hurt. I know what my side was like, and that shit hurt.
But honestly, the only reason too, other people ask me this all the time, is how did you do the time with him? Honestly, if you had ever taken that plea, I think that would have been a point of contention for us, because it would have been hard for you to convince me you weren't guilty. And the only reason I stayed was because you weren't guilty. And if I thought there was ever a time or something to make me think you were, I couldn't have done it.
Especially at the beginning when you were thinking like you were thinking.
Very much like only guilty people go to prison.
Yeah.
That's how I thought. I thought only bad guys went away, and it was all, if you tell the truth, you're gonna win. Like, I was very naive. But then I would have been hard for him to ever be able to convince me that he was doing that for preservation purposes, when I'd have been like, no, you would never say yes if you didn't. And we wouldn't have been, I don't think we've been together. Well, I know we wouldn't have. Very hard. This was very hard. And I think, people know that, But I think that sometimes I don't think people understand what kind of life it is to be with someone who's incarcerated. And it's not because I don't feel like I couldn't do better. Like, that was always people like to throw that at me when they'd be mad or like want to hurt my feelings. It wasn't like I was ugly. It wasn't like I had daddy issues. Like, I wasn't starved for love and attention. I genuinely loved him, and I genuinely believed in him. And I genuinely thought we together would fight this and win and beat it. And that I never thought we'd do the whole time. Even when we got to the end, I'm still thinking like, he about to get.
But the thing is, our perception of fighting it and winning was different then, because just because I didn't get out on appeal doesn't mean we didn't fight and then we didn't win.
That's true. That's very true, babe. We did win.
We won. Because we're still together. We came out so much smarter, so much more complete than we did when we went in. And granted, we're older now, but there's a lot of people that come out of the situation broken. A lot of people that come out of the situation with no hope, that have no new knowledge of anything, you know? And
a little crazy.
Yeah, so
we definitely won. So I do think we did win. And so there's this lady, Tabitha Brown, that I told you about. And she was on an interview one time, and she said she just recently like hit famous, like made it big overnight kind of. Mm-hmm. And she said something that really just stuck with me. And she was like, what if God told you, I'm going to give you everything you ever dreamed of, everything you ever wanted, but you're going to have to wait 20 years for it? Would you have still believed him? And would you have worked as hard to get it? Mm-hmm. And when she said that, I was like, you know what? Like, everything that we have gone through has been necessary for us to actually get to these different steps. Like, that's going to be in the documentary too, because it goes real deep. But like, all of the things we have done has been absolutely necessary for us to get to this point right now. Mm-hmm. In this mind space we're in the financial space we're in, just like all the areas. Mm-hmm. We had to go through all of that to get here. And everything that I've asked for, I've gotten. So he did hear my prayer. He did grant me what I wanted, but I just never thought it was going to take 20 years. Mm-hmm. And if I had known that, would I have done the time differently? And I'm sure if I had just done this time believing like, absolutely, I'm going to get everything at the end of this, even accepting that it was going to be 20 years, how would I have done it different? And would I have had less times of like sorrow and sadness because like this is just part of me to get to that plan? That's just kind of where I've been trying to like really focus on and think of. Like, I ask God for what I want, and I'm going to just believe and trust that he's going to get me there, and this is my path to it. So all the bumps, all of the hiccups, all of the downs is really going to be the positives. We're going to turn them into positives. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't feel like I ever lose, you know, like, and sometimes a situation can look like defeat. Mm-hmm. But there's valuable lessons learned, so it evens it up for me. Mm-hmm. You know, kind of it makes it like worth it if I fall on my face, or it feels like I fell on my face.
Right.
So much learning that goes on with perceived failure, which is just falling. If there's a difference between falling and failure, and I honestly believe that there's so much learning involved in falling. It's mm-hmm. ridiculous, and we fell a lot.
We've fallen a lot.
You know, but look how smart we are.
And every time we get back up, it's like, y'all shouldn't have let us fall. You shouldn't have pushed us. Yeah. Because it does get better, and that's not coming from like an arrogant way or place. That's not coming from an arrogant place. It really is just coming from a place of like, God's already shown me that when he knocks me down, my comeback is about to be so big. Mm-hmm. Like, it literally is the test preparing me for this blessing he's about to give me. So I have to face it like that and get up to get ready to fight it, so that I can be accepting and able to accept mm-hmm. what he's about to give me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's definitely, my perspective has changed a lot. My outlook has changed. My relationship with God has completely changed.
Yeah. Like,
completely changed.
He started to reveal to me the source of the blessings, because it was like, we never got a blessing whenever something happened and we wallowed in it, in the mm-hmm. misery. The blessing always came when it happened, and we were like, we had the attitude of going forward, staying positive, and then next thing you know, it was like, what is this? All these blessings, I can't, a plethora, I can't even.
And the crazy thing is that we're getting all these blessings while we're in the worst place in the world.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
We're in prison, underneath the prison sometimes, and then it's just like, but do you see what's happening right now?
Exactly.
Like, nobody would believe that.
It's almost like he was like, I'm proud of you.
Or this is a taste. Keep fighting. There's more coming. That's what I always felt like. It was definitely just like a little nugget to keep us pushing forward. And there's so many, like, oh gosh, they don't know yet, but y'all will know soon enough. So many good things. Tell me, what is like the best thing that has happened or feeling that you've had since being out?
There'll never ever ever be a feeling like freedom. And I've never been a slave, and I know that freedom is different, but the ability to make a conscious decision for yourself on a daily basis, I don't even want to get deep with it, honestly, but that's just what I've been noticing that I cherish the most, because I was out here and still wasn't able to fully appreciate certain things, like going to a fast food restaurant or going to the gym or just seeing things and people and how much the world changed. It's like I was looking through it through these bars still, and I was out here on an ankle bracelet. But the fact that, you know, I am a free man now, you know, and I could take my wife out. Me and my wife went out to, where did we go? We went to a restaurant. We went to Montezuma's the other day.
On a Tuesday.
And with like 30 minutes notice.
And nobody else knew where we were but the two of us.
And I'm telling you, as a man who, for 2+ decades, somebody always knew where I was at.
And you never was just kicking it on a Tuesday.
Never.
We don't, like, the certain days of the week, that gets me. Like, I would see him Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday. Like, those were our days. So when it's like, when I say like on a Tuesday, it was just like days we never got to spend any time with each other. Stuff like that just is like, I get so excited. They're so little but so big.
That's what I like the most, because it hasn't been watching movies or anything like that and having all this access to internet and all. Like, none of that even matters. It was like the fact that you're free.
You know what it is for me? That like every single day I get to see you.
Yeah. And
hug you and kiss you whenever I want to. Like, I don't have to have moments where I need a hug from you and wait until the weekend.
That's true. Or
wait until they say I can hug you for 4 seconds, or have to sneak a little extra kiss in. Like, I can kiss you whenever I want. Come here. You getting one. Just cause.
But there's no part of you that, and all that's great, but there's no part of you that says like there's something else that you wasn't able to do when I was in there that now you can do. Because your situation is different because you've been out here, right? But you've always had these little DLC trappings.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, I'm still unraveling those trappings. Like, I still very much was institutionalized.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Very much. It's surprising sometimes at how much my brain is like, oh, you can't do that. But then it's like, girl, you can. You can. Y'all free now.
You can.
But like some of the other things that I've noticed that just kind of take a weight off of me is like at nighttime when I sleep, I don't have to sleep and still try to be hearing to make sure I'm safe. Like, that's your job now. Like, I can just sleep. I can just be like I'm still gonna be cautious, but I don't have to always be worried about protecting myself or like not going certain places because I'm like, well, if I get stuck, nobody can come get me. Like, I have my person. I always had him, but now he is readily accessible and I can take him wherever I want to. He can come get me if I need him to. Like, those kind of things are just such a release for me. Not having to be in charge all the time.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's dope, huh? And I'll protect the house like 3-year styles.
They probably won't even know what that means, but it's okay. I know.
You know?
I know, babe. Okay, last question. So now that you're out, what's your focus? What's your goal?
You.
Okay.
You.
I will take that gladly. Let me be your focus.
That's just real. Like,
focus on me.
I can't focus with you singing like that.
Can you just focus on me?
When you're in prison, a lot of times, whatever it is you think about the most is the thing that you're going to be focused on when you get out. And you were what I was thinking about the most. So, it's just like...
Say that. You did always say that.
Yeah, so with that being said, I mean, it's a lot of things that we want to do together. But not only that, like when you used to come up to the prison and spend the night with me at the trailer visit, like how many times did we just turn everything off and just talk for hella? Because that's what relationships
Because it was
about.
free.
It was free, but
you could talk uninterrupted.
we definitely can do that for a lifetime now. You know what I'm saying? And just whether it be the check-in or find out about your day and find out about my day, or hey, I got a plan. And we can initiate it right then.
Y'all, when he calls me, if I'm out and he's out, or like he gets home before me and he calls me with the, where you at? I'll be like, I'm where I'm at. What you want? And then he be like, get here. Okay.
Yeah.
I be trying to play tough. Like, I got things to do, but I'll be booking it.
Shit, me too.
I got to go, y'all. My man's home. I told my grandma that the other day. She was like, you ain't got to go. I said, I got a man now. I got to go.
She can't say none of that, huh?
I got things to do, honey. Got me a man at home.
What about you?
My goals for us, honestly, I'm just excited for us to just like, I feel like we have a good start on like cultivating our own family, like picking who we are considering family members.
Which we've learned over the years.
You really get to pick. That's a gift. You get to pick who you want to be family. And I feel like we have a good group of people that have been in our lives in different phases. And I'm just excited to see what that looks like, because I know what my people look like, and now I'm learning what our people look like. I'm learning who your people are, like who your go-tos are, and just seeing how those meld, but just us building this life with like the same healthy, rich relationships that we've really worked on with ourselves. So that's why, I mean, relationships are very important to me, because I take them very seriously. And once you are part of that for me, you will always be part of that. Unless you prove yourself not worthy, then that's fine. But I'm excited to see what our life looks like as we continue to build it together. And I know that as long as we continue to keep God first, which he is our homie. Like, he be down for us.
Yeah, God.
He really be rocking with your girl.
And that's the thing is, he don't have to prove nothing, but that's what he's done over and over again.
It's not even that he's proving it. He just does what he says he's gonna do.
He's showing me.
Which is such a simple concept, but it goes so, like when I see humans that can do what they say they're gonna do, it goes so far for me. Once I don't see that, it's hard, because it's not like I'm trying to hold you at God status, but it's like, I mean, the minimum God does is what he says he's gonna do. That should be what everybody does.
Yeah.
That's how I think about it. Anyway.
Well, not only that, but he also has a way of spanking you respectfully. And he spanked us over the years.
And
not because we done
embarrassingly.
not because we done something bad, but because we didn't have faith.
Yeah.
We wasn't paying attention to everything that he laid out in front of us. Like, I've given you everything. Here you go. And instead of us paying attention to that, we're right here. And it's like
missing the whole picture. Basically,
this term where they say you can't see past your nose, we've done that a lot. And we learned from it, though.
We have. But yeah, so I'm excited about seeing that. But then also, too, I think that we have a story that a lot of people find interesting. And I think that we've gone through a lot of things that other people have gone through, but even if it's not the same type of story, the outcome is what I think people would find very interesting and motivating. And I can't wait to see how God leads us to share this story. I have my ideas on it, how I want to do it. And I don't know if that's what he wants, because it hasn't happened that way yet. So I'm just trying to surrender to whatever his plan for that is going to be laid out for us in a very positive way, and we be able to share this big part of our life in a way that enriches other people's. And never in a way, I don't want people to think I'm ever promoting like prison anything. Like prison sucks. There's not very many good things about it. It's what you take out of it and turn into good is what comes out of prison. And I think that's what I think we can be an example of. And I want to see how that turns out.
It's going to manifest well.
I think it will. Yeah. I'm excited about us.
Good. Back to what we were just talking about. Like, we have literally told you about how Sue McGrue, my mother-in-law, supported us day one. And we've had people that have jumped on a little late, but not by their own fault, like just finding out about us and whatnot, who have been very supportive. We want to say thank you to them too. But in saying thank you to the people that have helped us get to where we are, I want to thank you, because we wouldn't be here